Hello friends.
We're here at Hawksbill Bay and we want to share with you a list with 10 things you need to know before coming on your next trip to Antigua.
First, you need a car. You definitely need a car on this island because everything is very spread apart, and if you want to see all the nice views, nice beaches and nice sightseeing, you need a car. And for this the most important is to have your driving license. You need an international driving license, or you need to go with your current driving license to the local police office and
Here in Antigua.
yeah, and get yourself a local driving license which costs 25 EC.
Which is how many dollars?
This is around $10.
Yeah.
And it's valid for 3 months.
Yeah, and just make sure that when you're coming here with your local driver's license, it's still valid, because if it's not valid, if it has expired and you need to renew it, they're not gonna give you
another one.
an international one, so you're not gonna be able to legally drive here.
Yeah.
Number 2, you can pay with card in many different places. Of course, most clubs, resorts, restaurants and so on, you can usually pay with card, but still we're finding that on the daily there's many different situations where we need to pay with cash, whether we're grabbing some coconuts and fruits from the street or even going to a restaurant to eat.
Yeah.
And I think that the best way to approach this is to just come here with your cards and take out cash in the local currency, which is EC, East Caribbean dollars, from a reliable ATM. The one that we normally use is the one from the Eastern Caribbean Bank.
Yeah. You can still pay via Apple Pay, but the guys here are not really up to date with their machines, so very few places they have their Apple Pay machines. In the big supermarket they do, but that's about it, and most of the little shops. The third thing you need to know is here they're with USA standard of plugs. So they either have the two things going in, the very tiny flat things, or the other one that are two and one in the middle.
They're either type A or type B.
Yeah. And if you come from Europe, you definitely need to buy yourself an adapter to charge all your devices. Some of the houses, weirdly enough, are on 120 watts, but most of the houses are on 230 watts. So if you have 220 watt device, you need to get yourself an transformer.
Is it called a transformer?
Yeah, transformer. Yeah, transformer. Yeah, transformer to get yourself charged in or use the device.
For example, we bought a blender here because our house didn't have one and we use it all the time. So if we want to bring it back to Europe, not only do we need an adapter in order to plug it, but we also need this transformer because our blender works at
120.
120. So if we take it back to Europe or somewhere else, it might not work in terms of the voltage.
So the number 4 is that there is a big problem with the mosquitoes. We are constantly getting bitten by mosquitoes. We try to fight them with everything. For example, in our room we try to plug in some kind of a device with
Mosquito repellent.
Yeah, mosquito repellent. It doesn't work. All it works is this very heavy chemical mosquito repellent that you do apply on your skin. And we did make the best decision in our life to buy ourselves
mosquito net for the bed.
That a friend of us brought from Bulgaria, and now we put it on, and it's always nice to sleep without bites or something buzzing on your ear all night and wake you up.
So yeah, it depends, because I know that some people don't get bitten that much. Govku thinks that what you eat matters. I've heard that like different blood types get different reactions. I don't know. It's just something to have in mind. We've really been struggling with the mosquitoes this entire time, so make sure to bring different kinds of repellents and remedies that you have found work for you in other destinations with mosquitoes. The next point is some good news. They have a very big supermarket here. It's called Epicurean. In short, everyone calls it Epi, which offers, first of all, a very big selection of Waitrose stuff. If you've lived in England, you must know Waitrose. And second of all, they just offer a huge selection of gluten-free, dairy-free, and so on products, which when I've lived in islands and more remote places, you don't necessarily have such a good selection. Yes, things are very expensive and everything is imported, but if you're looking for some healthier alternatives, or if you're trying to keep a bit of a different diet, it's nice to know that you can find literally anything here and you don't need to bring stuff with you. Our flatmates, for example, yes, brought nutritional yeast all the way from England because they're vegan, but they do sell it here, so that's good to know.
Yeah, and there are two supermarkets. The most famous one, First Choice, which is a little bit cheaper than the other one, but if you really want to have a huge variety of items that you want to treat yourself, Epicurean is the one that you're looking for. It is a little bit pricey, but yeah, everything is expensive in this country because it has 55% VAT on everything that comes.
And they're not really growing much food here from what we're getting, so everything is imported from somewhere, and this kind of tax is then put on top of the prices.
Number 6, locals are relatively friendly, if I can say too friendly. We were walking around St. John and everybody were asking us, hey, how are you? Do you have a great day? And so on. And I can give you a pure example with we had a little bit of a situation with the car. We pull out on the side and we wanted to change the route and go to another beach. But as we pulling out, we ran over this big, huge rock that literally went underneath the front tire, and I couldn't go reverse because the wheel was spinning on one place. I couldn't go forward because the wheel was spinning in one place. So then I saw this local guy looking at us driving past very slow, and he said, do you need help?
I think he was actually going the other way on the road, and he stopped because he saw that we had stopped and we looked like maybe there's something going on. He left his car, crossed the street, and came to us.
Came to us and asked me, what's up, do you need help? And I said, yeah, I need jack. Do you have a jack? I need to lift my car up and get that huge rock underneath the tire away. So he went to the car, he took out the jack, he did put up the jack by himself, up, and just asked me, yeah, you can take the rock out of the way. And I went down, I took the rock out, and yeah. And then I said, okay, this guy now is gonna ask us money, and we were just in the beginning of our stay here and we didn't have quite a lot of cash
money
with us. So I was like, oh shit, I cannot tip this guy, or tell him thank you in some kind of way. And he didn't ask anything, he just wished us a good day and amazing stay, and that's it. And
it was very nice.
Went back to his daily tasks.
Another small point, which is relevant to many destinations, is you can't drink the tap water, unfortunately. So make sure you're always getting enough mineral water for your house. Depending on where you're staying, you're probably supplied with that, and it's always good to carry your own water bottle. We're always doing that all day long, carrying and refilling these.
And the mineral water is not mineral water coming from a spring or something. It's just groundwater passed through a lot of filters and cleaned. So the water is not rich on electrolytes, definitely. So you need to buy this separately and add it in your water.
Wow. So again, like in many other countries, on Sundays most things are closed. Many shops and many restaurants are closed, so again, that's just something to have in mind. They're either not open at all or they just close at an earlier hour. And yeah, I think just because it's like a tourist island and we don't really work a Monday to Friday kind of job, either of us, we would go somewhere to English Harbor or St. John's on the weekend and just expect everything to be open, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
Which is good because people need to rest.
Number 9 is the health insurance. The travel insurance is, I would say, recommended over here, because whatever happens, you don't know, you get cut on something rusty, or you break a bottle and you step on it and you cut yourself, or I don't know, there is a lot of situations that you can get hurt, and it's good to have a travel insurance, and definitely not seek the public health authorities, because the public hospital in St. John's is not very reliable. I would say you go directly to a private doctor, or
To a private medical center in the island.
and seek for medical attention there. We had a friend of ours being in the hospital in St. John, and they didn't even put him bedding on the bed, so it's not something you wanna experience.
Okay, so our last point is about the wind, something quite central in our lives.
Yeah, this is
So in
something
case you're
that we
coming-
rely on.
Yeah, so in case you're coming here to kite surf and or wing foil like us, then Govka is gonna share a couple of insights about the wind so you guys can have a better idea on what to expect when you're planning your trip to Antigua.
So this is definitely a kite island. They don't have anything with windsurf here or whatsoever, so don't come here to windsurf, because there is none
You,
windsurf gear on
you
the
can
island.
come to windsurf if you bring your own gear.
Kite scene is very big. Kiting is, let's say, big part of it is light winds, and we have been kiting mainly with 11, 9 and 7, so you can use all your kites that you bring. I would recommend bringing a 15, but you're gonna use it maybe 3 times. But if you have one, don't hesitate to bring it. Or you can actually travel with 11, 9 and 7, 1 twin tip and 1 foil board. Alright, so if you're a man and you have a girlfriend, bring all your kites that you own. Because even Yasmin is kiting with a 7 the other day because it was 24 knots. And if you come alone, just bring 2 kites, maybe a 14 and a 10, and you're gonna be golden. About wings, you can bring a 6 meter, that's gonna be very useful, and maybe a 5. I brought a 4.2 and I used it maybe 3 times on all that 3 months period. And
Wait, so what's the size you're using all the time?
I'm using all the time 5.2, but with relatively big foil, that's 1,000 and 1,100. So it blows definitely light, so it comes at, let's say, 12 knots, and it's stable 12 knots up until 20 knots, sometimes 24, but it's a warm wind, so it's not quite dense wind. It's a trade wind coming from east, and it hits all the Caribbean islands, so the forecast is super accurate. And on the east side of the island, all the east wind work quite well. Sometimes it goes southeast, but it is getting a little bit gusty. There is 3 spots that you can kite on, or 3 schools that you can rely on. One is Celtic kiteboarding, the other one is Antigua kite surfing on Jabrock, and the third one is 40 knots, that it's in one remote island called Green Island, that you need to be picked up by a boat and brought to their spot.
And don't be fooled by the name, because there is never
no 40
knots. I'm not sure why would they call their school 40 knots here.
Actually, I found out why.
Why?
Because there is often squalls coming and hitting 40 knots for just a little bit. And for those that don't know what squall is, this is a small cloud with rain, with cold rain, that actually makes a thermical effect and accelerates the wind for just maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and then it turns off and it comes again. But it rains like hell. Imagine you're under the shower and that's the rain that comes.
Okay, interesting. I was wondering why these people are creating just a very deceptive idea of the wind situation here, and now
Yeah.
we know.
And some of the kiting you can get like all those beautiful kite videos that you see from Antigua. You can go to those places, but you need to reach them with boat. And the only one providing this is Kelsey Kiteboarding. Some credit for the boss. So we hope this is helpful for your next trip. And
We're waiting for you in Antigua.
peace out.